A roofer with a wrecked back is 8 times more likely to be forced out of the trade early than a mate without one. That number comes from a study of American construction workers, and it is quietly deciding thousands of retirement dates right now. Not the retirement you planned, the one your knees, shoulders, and spine are planning for you, somewhere between 50 and 60. If you have spent 20 years on the tools, your body is already carrying a ledger. Every lift is an entry. This video is the maths, what staying on the tools really costs and what retraining actually pays. Real numbers, both columns. Because the argument for staying is always the same. The money is good now, and starting over sounds like going backwards. But the money is only good while the body holds. And the data on how long that lasts is brutal reading. By the end, you will see why one desk job pays more than most trades using knowledge you already own. First, though, the damage ledger, what 2 decades of physical work actually does to a working body, measured by researchers, not guessed. And the numbers start much earlier than you think. For most tradesmen, that ledger is already long before their 40th birthday. In one long running American study, 38% of construction workers had already suffered an injury, costing days off work by age 40. 10 years later, those injured workers reported more diagnosed conditions, more depression, and more trouble with basic tasks like climbing stairs. One injury rarely stays one injury. Carpenters who hurt their backs faced a higher risk of a second back injury within 3 years. Past 45, rates of neck and back disorders climb steeply, which means more men working through pain and calling it normal. About a third of construction workers over 40 admit they doubt their bodies will carry them all the way to retirement age. And the sharpest number of all, past 55, the death rate on site is 80% higher than for men under 35. That is the American Safety Institute's own figure. Older bodies fall harder, heal slower, and pay more for the same mistakes. None of this is weakness. It is materials science. Joints are components, and components wear out under load on a schedule. Here is the part almost nobody prices in, though. The injury itself is not actually the expensive part of getting hurt. The expensive part is what happens to your income in the 12 months after. That is where the real maths begins. In the year after a serious injury, construction workers were significantly more likely to lose wages, work fewer hours, or get laid off. They were also less likely to be offered lighter duties. The industry runs on full capacity. It has little room for 80%. For the self employed, it is worse. No sick pay, no annual leave. A bad shoulder does not just hurt, it stops invoice. So the real wage on the tools is not your day rate. It is your day rate multiplied by the years your body allows. The workforce already knows this in its bones. In one UK survey, 76% of tradespeople had considered leaving within 5 years. Almost a third of them named their own declining physical health as the reason for wanting out, not the money, the body. And the age group most likely to want out is not the old boys, it is the 35 to 44-year-olds. They can see both sides of the hill at once, still strong enough to switch, experienced enough to know what is coming. Which raises the only question that matters. What is actually waiting on the other side of the fence in real money? Because if the landing jobs pay peanuts, none of this matters. So here is the second column of the ledger. Start with the job most tradesmen have never considered: the construction estimator. Average pay in the United States, around $88,000. Experienced estimators reach 130,000. The job is pricing buildings, and nobody prices work better than someone who has done it. BIM technicians, the people who build digital models of buildings, average 55 to 70,000, with senior roles pushing past 100. Building automation estimators, pricing the smart systems inside modern buildings, are advertised from the low 60s up to 150,000. Robotics technicians keeping site machines running earn 50 to 75,000, rising toward 95 as automation spreads across the industry. Notice the pattern. None of these are coding jobs in hoodies. They are building jobs where the tools became a keyboard. One industry guide puts it plainly: construction roles requiring digital skills command 10 to 20% more than the same role without them. And here is the loop from the start of this video. The highest paying landing job is the estimator, and it wants your scars. Every dodgy quote you have seen, every variation fought over, every shortcut that cost a builder money, that is estimator training already done. So now both columns are filled in. Time to actually run the numbers side by side the way nobody does. Say you are 48 on good money, maybe 90,000 a year on the tools when the work is steady. Staying feels safe. But a third of construction workers over 40 already doubt their bodies will make it to retirement. Price that in. Forced exits do not come with a plan. They come with a workers' comp claim, a lean year, and no second skill. Now price the switch. 1 to 2 years of retraining, maybe part-time around work, earning less, or spending on courses. Call the transition cost 30 to 50,000 in lost earnings and fees. It is real money and it stings. On the other side, 15 plus working years at 70 to 100,000 in a job that does not eat its worker. A career that runs to 67 at a desk beats a better day rate that stops dead at 55. Run it roughly. Switching at 48 can add 10 extra earning years. Even at modest pay, that is most of $1 million. The maths is not close. What is genuinely hard is the part the spreadsheet cannot show. So who actually makes the jump? The honest answer is very few. And the reason they succeed has almost nothing to do with being good at computers. In the United States, only about 6% of workers aged 55 to 64 ever make a genuine career switch. But the ones who do report something interesting, better flexibility and better mental health on the other side, the regret runs the other way. The switchers do not succeed because they are technical. They succeed because they sell the thing the industry is desperate for: site experience. The industry is bleeding that experience. In the UK alone, around 210,000 skilled workers retire out every single year. Every estimator, modeler, and automation firm is competing for people who can read a building the way you already can. So the math says the ledger favors the switch, and the market says your 20 years are the entry ticket, not the obstacle. The 8 times number from the start of this video was never really about roofers. It is about anyone whose income needs a spine. You have two assets: a body with a use by date and knowledge with none. Only one of them appreciates. The smart move is transferring value from the first asset to the second before the first one makes the choice for you. In the next video, 5 tech jobs that actually recruit ex-tradesmen with no degree required. The first one on the list surprised us.